Akshita from Akshita's Recipes. Hope you're all doing great and are fine. Well, today's recipe is a very healthy recipe. It's a great breakfast idea. It's baked beans on toast, but we're going to be using soya beans as our beans for the recipe. So it's packed with proteins and really good for our health. You can have this for breakfast or just a light snack whenever you're hungry. So friends, let's just jump straight ahead into the recipe. Now we're going to heat a pan and pour about 1 tablespoon of olive oil. We don't need to heat the olive oil a lot. We're going to add about 2 to 3 cloves of garlic, very finely chopped. Now to this garlic, I'm going to add 1 red onion, finely chopped. Give this a good mix. This has to be done on a low to medium flame. Now once our onions get translucent, we're going to add some pizza pasta sauce. I'm using the ready-made one, about 2 to 3 tablespoons. Give this a good mix. Now we are going to add a little bit of pizza pasta seasoning, which again is ready made. It has all the herbs in it. To this we are going to add a little bit of pepper powder, finely ground pepper powder. I have added about half a teaspoon. Some salt to taste. I've added again about 3/4 of a teaspoon because the pizza pasta sauce also has some salt content. And now we're going to add the cooked soya beans. In my description box below, I will let you know as to how I prepared the soya beans for this baked beans recipe. It's very simple and very easy. Give all of this a good mix. And now we're going to cover this and cook it for about 5 to 10 minutes on a slow flame. And here is our baked beans all ready. You can have it with some lovely toast. It makes an awesome breakfast idea. So to cook your chawli or black-eyed beans instantly, I'm going to take about 1 cup of them in my pressure pan and I'm going to roast them for at least 5 minutes. Then I'm going to just rinse them thrice under running water. And then I'm just going to add about 1.5 cups of water to the pressure pan and I'm going to cook it on 1 whistle on high and simmer for 15 minutes. And then once the cooker is cool, you can see that your chawli is already nice and cooked. So this is the fastest way to cook it. Now we have all these spices and like red chilies, then some fresh coconut, some coriander seeds, garlic, peppercorns, a little bit of turmeric powder. Then there's fennel seeds or soft, some cloves, mace, cinnamon. This is one onion chopped fine and one onion sliced, one small tomato, some fresh coriander leaves. So I've just soaked in some water with to which salt has been added. Now all these ingredients along with their correct measurements will be in the description box below, so you can go there and see everything. Now I'm just taking about a tablespoon of oil in my pan, and once the oil is hot, I'm going to add in my 4 cloves of garlic, my 1 onion which I've sliced, about 10 dried red chilies. Then I'm going to add my fresh coconut, and we're going to fry all this really well till we get the aroma of the coconut and the onions and the garlic and everything is nice and fried. This is a very important step, that you fry everything very, very well. Now you can also make this masala paste and store it in your refrigerator, and in a little larger quantity, and whenever you feel like making this tonak, you can make it. Now I'm just going to add all my whole spices like my fennel seeds, then the coriander seeds, the cloves, the cinnamon, the peppercorns, a little haldi powder or turmeric powder, and I'm going to fry that too in the oil, and then I'm going to mix everything well together and fry everything well together. And then we're just going to let this cool to room temperature, and then we're going to grind this to a very, very fine paste. So remember that the mixture has to cool completely. Don't put a very hot mixture into your mixer pot. And then we're just going to add a little bit of water, say about 1/4 cup of water, and we're going to grind this to a very smooth paste. Now you get this lovely orange color paste. And then also clean out your mixer for the reserve water. So just add some water, and we're going to use this water too for our recipe. So none of that lovely masala water goes to waste. And then we're just going to add about 1/2 tablespoon of oil to the same pan, and we're going to fry 1 onion which has been diced. Fry it well. Then we're going to add our small tomato. Let this fry well too. Then we're going to add our masala paste. And we're going to mix everything well together. Let this fry again well till you have some of the masala oil coming to the surface. So this should take you about 3 to 4 minutes to fry the masala well. This is also very important. And now we're going to add some salt to taste. Now I have another Chawli recipe also, which is pretty simple. I'll leave a link below so you can see that recipe too if you want to make that recipe. And now we're just going to add the masala water and add a little more water because we want a little thinner gravy, not a very thick gravy. Or you can add as much as you want. If you like it on the thicker side, then add just little water. If you want a little more, with little more gravy, then add a little more water. And then just give everything a mix. And then just add a little bit of chopped coriander leaves. And then we're just going to cover it and cook it for about 5 to 10 minutes on a very low flame. And that's it, friends. Such a simple recipe, yet so delicious. Give it a try, guys.
start with today's recipe. Now, all the ingredients with their measurements have been listed in my description box below, so you can go and check them out. So, this is some yeast, this is some sugar to activate the yeast, and this is some lukewarm milk. You don't want your milk to be very cold or you don't want your milk to be very hot. Then there is some butter. So now we're going to activate the yeast. So for that, to my lukewarm milk, I'm going to be adding in the sugar, and I'm going to stir the sugar very, very well. And then we're going to add our yeast and again give it a very light stir. If your milk is very hot, then the yeast will not get activated at all. So after some time, you will see that your yeast has doubled up in size. Now in a large bowl, I'm going to take my all-purpose flour or maida. To that, I'm going to add some salt to taste. Give the salt and the maida a good mix. Now we're going to add our butter, which is at room temperature preferably. And we're going to mix the butter and the flour very, very well together. Now, once the flour and the butter are very well mixed together, we are also going to add our yeast mixture. And after adding the yeast mixture, we're going to get a soft dough like this. So just knead the dough. You might get a very sticky dough. It's very normal, but just keep kneading the dough. Then just on a very clean surface, after you applied a little, just dusted a little bit of dry flour, just knead it very, very well. It should become very, very soft. So knead it for about half a minute, and then just apply some oil to your bowl and again keep the dough into it. You can see that the dough is nice and soft. And then we're just going to put a dry kitchen napkin on top of it and leave it for at least an hour. Now after an hour, you will see that it has doubled in size. So just punch it down with your hands. Again, take it out on your surface and again knead it well. This kneading process will really make your paos rise up, and plus they will be very soft and really, really just perfect. Then divide them into the number of paos that you want. Now I'm just making, one ladi or six paos. Now this would be a good time to preheat your oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. Then you're going to take each of them and roll them till they're nice and smooth. They should not have any lines on them. Just keep rolling them till they're very nice and smooth. And then place them on a buttered baking pan. And again cover them for about 45 minutes till they completely rise. They will look like this. Now your oven is preheated. So now you can just brush them lightly with some egg. You can use a whole egg, or you can even use milk if you want to keep this recipe completely veg. And then just brush them nicely. That will give it its lovely golden color. And after you've brushed them, just put them in the oven and bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes. Every oven is different, so you need to keep an eye on your pao. So bake them at 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. And once your paos are ready, just brush them with some butter and put them in a dry kitchen napkin or kitchen cloth for about 10 to 15 minutes. That will make them nice and soft. And after 10 to 15 minutes, your paos are all ready to enjoy. So they've come out perfect. The aroma in my home is just beautiful. I started with just making one ladhi or 6 paos, and then my family liked it so much that I went ahead and made another ladhi. If you're just starting off, then it's better to make just one ladhi or 6 paos. And the paos were just amazing, really soft and lovely and spongy. And just apply a little bit of butter and have it with a nice hot cup of tea. I have many other baking recipes. I also have a recipe for focaccia bread. I'll leave all of that in the description box below. You can go and check them out. So to all of you who requested for this recipe, I hope you all will try out this recipe and let me know in the comment section below how your paos turned out. Thank you so much for watching.
So let's see today's simple methi bhaji. Now here I have just soaked the methi leaves in water with some salt added to it for about 15 to 20 minutes, then drained it out, rinsed it well, and then put it into a colander and let all the water seep out. Now once all the water is seeped out, I'm just going to chop them up and cut the methi really fine. Now at the end of this video, you will see how I clean methi and how I store it also. And basically you got to use this in a day or two that when you purchase it. So it's fresh. Don't keep it for very long, for about a day or two maximum. So at the end of the video, I've shown you how I pluck the methi leaves and how I store them. Also, friends, I'm just going to pop in because I want you all to know about something. So it'll just take half a minute, but there's something I'd like all of you guys to know about. So keep watching. It's Akshata here. I just wanted to pop in and let you know about my Amazon storefront. I get loads and loads of questions as to Akshata, what is this gas stove that you're using? What is your oven, the brand of your oven? What is the capacity of the oven? What is the make? Then what are the measuring cups that you use? What are the different cake tins that you use? So all of this I have put up on my storefront along with other categories like electronics, phones. This is basically stuff that I buy or I keep on my wish list, and I would recommend that you can buy them. They're one of the best deals with regard to quality as well as prices. So I've categorized them into different categories like pots and pans, baking essentials, cooking essentials, health, foods. So you can go and check it out. The link is down below. And you can just click on it, it'll take you directly to the Amazon storefront. And even if you're looking out for something and you would like to know what are the best deals happening, you can write to me down in the comment section, or my email address is there down in the comment section. Just click on the email, it'll take you to, you can just write to me as to what you're looking for, and I can send you a mail back telling you what are the best recommended products. So that's what I wanted to tell you, and now back to the video, guys. And now getting back to the recipe. So here I've taken a pan and I've added 1 teaspoon of oil. Now once our oil starts to heat up, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds begin to splutter, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera. I'm then going to add 3 green chilies that I've just cut into half and fry the chilies really well. Now I'm going to add 4 cloves of garlic that I've just crushed to a very coarse paste. Now I've got to fry the garlic also well. I'm going to add half a teaspoon of asafoetida or heenga and half a teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder. Now I've chopped up 1 medium onion fine, and I'm going to add that, and I'm going to fry the onion also well. Now I'm just going to cover and cook this pan, cover and cook the onions till they become a little bit soft. Once that is done, I'm going to add my chopped up methi leaves. And I'm going to fry everything really, really well, or mix everything really, really well. So see that the onions and the methi and the bagar, is really mixed nicely. Now this methi doesn't take a long time to cook. So now I'm just going to cover and cook it for about 2 minutes, stirring in between. Now after 2 minutes, just give it a gentle stir. And now we're just going to flavor it with a little bit of salt and a little bit of sugar because methi has a little bit of bitterness in it. So I'm going to add some salt to taste. And I'm also going to add a pinch of sugar. Now mix everything really well. Now if you watch the video till the end, I'll show you, how to buy the right kind of methi also. So keep watching the video till the end. And again, after 2 minutes, just cook, just cover and cook for another 2 minutes and again stir in between. And then now we're going to cook it without the cover for another 2 minutes. And just let all the water dry up. And that's it, friends. Your lovely simple methi bhaji is all ready to enjoy. And now I'm going to tell you how I clean the methi. So basically, just pluck the leaves out. Now, when you're buying the methi, first, you just have to buy the methi which has this very white kind of a stalk, a very thin kind of stalk like this, not the very thick kind of stalk. Even the leaves have to look very fresh and tiny. They shouldn't look very dark green. They shouldn't be very thick. But they should be very tender like this. So just pluck out the leaves, and what I like to do is I like to store it in some paper because that way it lasts long. But like I said, don't keep the methi for more than a day or two. Just, the day you buy it, clean it up and, you use it up either that day or the next day. Because it does have a very short life, and if you, store it for more than 2 days, you'll see that there's a lot of moisture and some of the leaves start to wilt. So I generally buy the methi, clean it up the same day and use it up the same day or the next day at the most. So then once I've cleansed the methi, I just kind of, put it into some paper like this. This is one way of storing it. And another way of storing it is how I just show you how I do it with all my leafy vegetables. This is coriander, of course, but I put paper at the base of the box, the airtight container. Then I put the leafy vegetables in it, and again I cover it with some paper. So that's how I store my clean and store my methi. So let's see today's lovely coconut chutney and coconut chutney sandwiches. So here I've taken half a cup of freshly grated coconut. Try to use fresh coconut rather than using coconut which is in the refrigerator. 1/4 cup of fresh coriander. 2 light green chilies that I've just chopped fine. 2 cloves of garlic that I've chopped fine. 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. 1 inch of ginger which I've just grated. About 1/4 teaspoon of sugar and some salt to taste. So these are the very few ingredients that you require, and a little bit of water, about 2 to 3 tablespoons to grind while grinding this chutney. So I'm just going to add all of these ingredients to my mixer. Now this chutney can be also used, for idlis, dosas, upma. And today I'm going to show you how to make chutney sandwiches using this lovely, fresh and delicious chutney. So I'm just going to add all the ingredients, squeeze the lime, and then I'm just going to add about 2 to 3 tablespoons of water, and I'm going to grind this to this paste, and our chutney is ready. So I'm just going to transfer this to a nice airtight glass container. And I store it in the refrigerator in the chiller section for about 2 to 3 days. Do not store this fresh coconut chutney for more than 2 to 3 days because then coconut is perishable, doesn't have a very long shelf life. So try to use the chutney within about 2 to 3 days. Now I'm going to just take 4 slices of sandwich bread. Try to use the thick sandwich bread, which is wider also, and just cut off the edges. If you like the edges, you can keep the edges, but I like to make them without the edges. And I use the edges to make some breadcrumbs so it doesn't go to waste also. So just take off the edges of the sides. And now I'm just going to apply a little bit of butter to all the 4 slices. Just a little, not too much. This helps us to, it elevates the taste of the sandwich, as well as it helps us to, nicely spread out the chutney too.
So I'm just going to evenly spread out this green fresh coconut chutney. Put a nice generous helping of it onto one of the buttered slices. Just spread it out with a knife like this so it gets spread to all the corners of the bread. And then just place another buttered slice on top of it. And now we're just going to cut it up into half. And then if you like these mini sandwiches, which we at our place like really a lot, I'm going to cut it up again. So I'm going to get 4 sandwiches out of 2 slices. And they look really pretty when they are, in this, mini like this. So with the butter and the chutney, it tastes simply delicious. So do give this recipe a try, guys.
Third cup of all-purpose flour, so I'm going to measure that. Then we require about 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. Those are our dry ingredients. In our wet ingredients, we have 1/3 cup of milk. We're going to use 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. This is about 1/3 cup of butter, which is at room temperature. Some cranberries, about a tablespoon of cranberries, and about a tablespoon of choco chip. And this is my cupcake liners, which I've just put into my cupcake tray. So let's get started.
We're also going to be needing 1 egg and 1/3 cup of powdered sugar. So friends, let's start making this delicious cranberry cupcakes, cranberry and chocolate. So now in a bowl, I'm going to first add the powdered sugar. Next, I'm going to be adding the butter. And now we're just going to mix the butter and the sugar really well. So we're going to cream this mixture really well. So take about a minute or so and just, with a spatula, beat it up well like this so it becomes nice and smooth. We want the sugar and the butter to really mix in very, very well. Once that is done, we're going to add the egg. And again, with your spatula, just mix the egg in well. And now I'm going to move on using an electric whisk. If you don't have an electric whisk, you can also use a hand whisk. Just whisk everything together till it becomes nice and creamy. This is very important because we want that lovely light texture. Now I'm going to add the vanilla essence. You can also add vanilla extract. Again, mix the mixture together really nicely. For about 2 minutes, whisk everything really well. We want this lovely, light, creamy kind of a consistency. Now we're going to add the milk. And again, whisk everything well. So we're done with all the wet ingredients. Now I'm going to add the flour. I'm just going to pass it through a sieve or a sift. So we're going to add the flour. And now I'm also going to add the baking powder. And again, with my spatula, we're going to mix everything really, really well together. This would be a good time to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes. And now we're going to add the goodies, which is the choco chips and the cranberries. Of course, these are dried cranberries. And again, give it a nice light mix, so that we get an even, distribution of the cranberries and the choco chips. And now all you have to do is just pour this mixture evenly into the cupcake holders.
As you can see, now our cupcake mixture has been put into the cupcakes. I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees Celsius for about 10 minutes, and now I'm going to pop these lovely, the batter of the cupcake into my oven, and we're going to let them bake at 180 degrees Celsius for at least 20 minutes.
And now we're going to bake this in our preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes. Now each oven is different, so keep an eye on your oven. And you'll see after about 5 minutes, you'll see them puff up like this. And here, friends, are our beautifully baked cupcakes all ready. Let them cool completely before we take them out of the mold and out of the cupcake holder. They're so evenly baked, and the aroma in my kitchen is also so amazing. I'm so tempted to just dig into them and have them. And you'll see once they're cool enough to remove the paper, you'll see how nice and soft and delicious they are.